All right, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Let me fix this up here. Good morning, guys. Apologies we weren't on yesterday, guys. I was feeling a bit under the weather, but we are absolutely back today, so welcome back, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Zoom, guys. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Coming up to 7:35 London time. Good morning, guys. Let me just have a quick look at the news. Gold reached some new all-time highs yesterday, which was absolutely huge. I was looking for this flip here. 15 ticks. So yeah, happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. You guys on YouTube, we called some very, very nice longs yesterday. A lot of people probably got trapped in the shorts in the London session. But this is where we were saying to guys inside Discord, we were actually longing up into these levels because what had gold not done here hadn't re-grabbed the previous highs. So amazing, amazing, amazing gold buys yesterday. Good job to you guys who did take the gold buys yesterday. Ended up being a very, very, very nice move. And now we're basically almost back at all-time highs, which is huge. Gold having a very, very, very big push. So let me just fire up Discord here. Let's have a quick look. Audio and video good. Awesome. Thank you, man. All right, YouTube guys, welcome back. If any guys are new here, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. I've been trading for the past 7 years and mainly focus on gold futures here in the European session. So I'll be with you guys for the next hour and a half. You know, we'll break down some other markets as well. We can look at NQ. We can have a look at ES. We can have a look at some currencies, answer some questions as well. And yeah, see what we get for the week. So obviously gold had some very, very, very nice longs yesterday. One thing we were saying in Discord yesterday, gold's very high, guys. There's nothing to redo up here. One thing we were saying yesterday in Discord is at the London session yesterday, where was the London session yesterday? Sorry, here. We had a pretty aggressive sell-off. First thing when we would have been on the charts yesterday, where you would have got a lot of people jumping in these shorts, risking off this high, looking for this new leg lower. However, what had gold not done? Look at these equal highs here. So if gold hasn't grabbed these highs, there's a high chance you're going to come up and grab these highs. Now, it did range for quite some time, but the direction was perfect. And once you actually broke out of this range, just let price break out, tag lows break out, you know, this was a huge move. Huge, huge, huge move yesterday on gold in this New York session. Absolutely massive move. So if you guys did get the gold longs yesterday and you weren't the ones trying to short, well done. You guys are learning from these streams, which is amazing. If you guys have been watching the streams for long enough, you should know that this is absolutely not a place to short. This is a place where you want to be buying up into where most people are trying to sell. And now we have gold for the first time ever breaking above 3,700, which is absolutely huge. So we have to adjust these key levels again. It seems like we're adjusting these every other day because we're having such massive moves. So next psychological level of interest for me on gold is 3750. 3750 on gold, which has just been non-stop absolutely ripping on gold. Absolutely ripping. Let me just turn this down. There we go. So in terms of what do we have this week, guys, before we do anything, having a quick look at the news. Let me fix this up here. There's our gold chart. So we can change this to, let's change this here. And then we can change this to MGC here. Let's get up the micro chart here. Awesome. So having a look at what we got for the week so far, guys. Let's have a look. Yesterday, what do we have? Let's get rid of these levels. Let's clean this up. Let's get rid of this. Cool. Today, what do we have today? Today, Tuesday 16th, we do have core retail sales, 1:30 London time. Tomorrow we have pound CPI, which will be very big. What else do we have tomorrow? Wednesday 17th, we do have federal fund rates, FOMC economic projections and statements, and the press conference from 7 until 7:30 tomorrow PM London time. we're going to have some big news. And you guys who are trading Asia, you have New Zealand dollar GDP as well, which will also be very, very big. And then on Thursday, we got more monetary policy statements from the pound, 12 o'clock London time, unemployment claims to the US dollar, and then nothing on Friday. So we got a busy couple of days coming up. Wednesday and Thursday be some pretty big days for the markets, and then Friday should be pretty good. But nothing too crazy. FOMC is going to be obviously the biggest mover here, but I'm pretty confident we can still get some trades before that. Now, obviously, with gold being where it is, gold's basically back at the all-time highs. You guys who are trading Asia today, this was a very nice setup here. Actually, kind of already hit the daily highs. Actually, it wouldn't be as nice. But there was nice Audi fake out here in Asia again. More so, it's not really Asia. It's also kind of towards the end of Asia. But you broke above, broke back above. Now you're having a nice little squeeze here. In terms of, was there an opportunity to take this push up here in Asia? I don't really see too much here. So not really too much movement here in Asia. The nice thing is here on gold is you kind of are creating this sort of left shoulder, here's your head, right shoulder. Now you're squeezing back high. But you can kind of see you do also have the exact same thing to the highs here as well. So is this head and shoulders going to hold and gold's going to get a bit of a pullback? Or are we going to break this and continue pushing higher? That's what's going to be interesting here for the London session. To be honest, I'm not a fan of even wanting to consider shorts on gold right now, given how bullish gold has been. We were happy to take shorts when price was ranging and, give us a sign that the markets are starting to find their feet and pull back a little bit. But now that we're back at price discovery, do we want to be trying to short these all-time highs? I mean, unless we get like a pretty steep breakout, maybe I can fire up a combine and take on that. But will I take a short on gold at new all-time highs on my XFA here? I personally would not. So we'll see what we get. We'll see if we hold this head and shoulders or if we break back higher. I honestly wouldn't be too surprised if we just continue pushing. If I'm going to get long here on gold, I mean, you've kind of already done it here pretty early. Came down, grabbed lows, you're re-breaking higher. So I'd have to see a pretty steep pullback to want to buy gold as well. Euro is creating a short position by trapping buyers for a scalp trade. Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. We've got time on gold. We got time. If gold just rips all-time highs, guys, we'll just have to look at other markets. I don't want to be buying gold at all-time highs. I also don't want to be selling all-time highs. The only way to trade all-time highs, it's very simple, The place where people go wrong at all-time highs is trying to call tops, and then you get squeezed out. For me, if gold hits a new all-time high here, all I'm going to do is let it hit the all-time high. So let's say if gold does this, hits the all-time high, let it range, pull back, and then great. Then I've got market structure to the left, and then I can get my trades back up into them all-time highs. But what I won't do is actually execute new trades at price discovery levels, because anything can happen above that. Euro's created a trapping in buyers for a scalp. Let's have a look. We've been seeing some pretty decent moves in the euro recently. Been calling some nice euro trades. So these are, let's get rid of this for a second. These are the liquidity levels that we spoke about last week on the euro. I still believe the euro is going to come and squeeze a bit higher. Again, you do have FOMC tomorrow, so if you're going to fill this range, it might be with the news tomorrow, but this is pretty big resistance. 4-hour time frame here on the euro. Looks like you're kind of starting to top out a little bit. You're tagging some highs from the 9th and 8th of September. So could you get a little bit of a pullback here in the euro? Possibly. It's not a level I'd want to be buying, that's for sure. It's pretty huge resistance. You're squeezing out these levels. So if you do wick back below, there's the potential for a little bit of a pullback here on the euro. It's not a level where I'd want to be buying. It's also not an area until 15 minutes where I'd want to be selling either. If this hourly wicks back below, then there's potential for a pullback scalp here. Nothing huge. I'm not looking for a full-blown reversal, but a potential bit of a pullback on the euro. But again, the London Open here would be the key. Managed to grab the gold, the buys yesterday on gold. Man, I didn't. It was really frustrating because I was a little bit sick yesterday. That's why I wasn't able to jump on the stream with you guys. But we called it to absolute perfection. I called these, we had liquidity levels here. I think we had another liquidity level here. And I was saying to the guys in Discord, don't short gold. Literally saying, do not short gold. Especially in the London session, you know, I said don't short gold as it was ripping down here. Most people see this rip down and, you know, they're like, oh shit, I'm gonna miss the move. Let me start chasing this. The reason I wasn't shorting gold is because you had tagged all of our downside levels, so you came down, grabbed the lows, pushed up. What did you do here? Look at this, absolutely beautiful. Came down, tagged the lows, hadn't yet pushed up. So unfortunately, me personally, I didn't. My last trade was, what was my last trade? When was that? Last trade was on Friday. So unfortunately, I didn't get the trade yesterday, which is very frustrating. I just wasn't mentally there yesterday. You know, I wasn't feeling 100%. I was like, if I trade today, you know, I'm going to kick myself if I take a loss. But this is the long that I was trying to take on Friday. I did get a decent bit of it on Friday, but this is the real move I wanted. This is the buys I wanted on Friday, all the way back up into that 3,700 yesterday. But it was a very, 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 very nice move. So, like I was saying to guys, you know, that's trading sometimes. Sometimes you'll jump on, you know, you'll be able to call market moves perfectly, but actually executing it sometimes can just be tough. And that's, you know, part of the game, part of the business. So, unfortunately, not called it perfectly and made a zero from it. So, it happens. It's not just about, you know, we're not all perfect, but whenever you're not mentally there, it's good to actually recognize that, because the days where you're not, you know, 100% there and you do trade, and if something goes wrong, you know, you'll end up kicking yourself. So I wasn't feeling 100%. I was I woke up feeling a little bit rough. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to watch it too much. Can you guys see Sammy sitting in the corner just staring out? Not sure what he's looking out to. And gold, yeah, gold to new all-time highs there, guys. New all-time highs of the currency. Currency not too far away from that 3,700 level. Took 3 break-evens trying to catch the highs on Friday. Was that yesterday? To be fair, there was a lot of chop yesterday before you did finally break out. But again, you know, it's one of them where you see this range, you know, you try and trade in this range too many times, and people think, oh, if I don't get in this range, I'm going to miss the move. But it's like, if you just waited for this breakout here, you know, you could have literally waited for this candle to close above with good volume, and then taken it from like here to here, made like 150 ticks up into that 3,700. But yeah, I agree. I would imagine a lot of people got chopped up in here yesterday. Don't get me wrong, I would probably have taken maybe 1 or 2 break evens in here, but as soon as I can see it's ranging, then that's when I take that step back right away. And if I, you know, I can see the lower time frames ranging, the same thing we do with top-down analysis is I'll do the opposite. Like if the 15's ranging, then I'll go, okay, cool, let me get off the 15, let me go to the 30. Okay, 30 minutes ranging, let me have a look at the hourly. Okay, hourly's ranging, therefore let me just wait for an hourly closure above. And this hourly here, pre-New York came down, tagged lows and closed bullish. So longs at that New York open, once you'd actually broken out, you know, 150 ticks, huge. Oh, the Friday session, yeah, the Friday session I did as well, man. I was long. Where was I long with Friday? I was long around here, off this morning star play, here, somewhere around here, trying to get this play up here. It kind of messed around for so long, so I think I took like $200 here. But yeah, Friday New York session was a pretty frustrating day, because I was like, I know these highs are gonna get grabbed, and we tried to do it so many times. Like even here, you know, you tag lows bullish. Okay, cool. Buys at 11 a.m. London time. Nah, back down. Okay, morning star. Buys again at 2 p.m. London time. Nope, back down, and then it took all the way until yesterday. I did take a couple of break evens there as well, man. Your stop on the breakout candle yesterday is literally just any closure back below. If you're buying this breakout here, any closure back below this range is your exit. So you'd be risking on the flip somewhere around 50 ticks maybe. 40, 50 ticks to see if you can make 150. So nice 1 to 3 risk to reward. How about NQ? Yep, we can have a look at NQ. I know NQ has been on a crazy run. Stocks have been pushing some crazy highs. Had a huge run on Tesla as well. You guys probably saw I posted a YouTube post yesterday. Hit almost about 13,000 on a Tesla trade, which was huge as well, which I bought a good while ago and haven't really touched. So let's clean up all these levels here on NQ. Yeah, 30-minute. Yeah, I wouldn't take this 30-minute flip on gold, man. Yes, it's had the push. If you buy from here, you're buying resistance. If you mean this one, this 730 candle, yeah, I was actually looking at that as well, because you got 60 ticks into highs. So if you bought this one, definitely, man. You tagged lows, you broke out here. This one, 100%. If that's the one you meant, definitely. Although you're close to the highs, there's a very high chance you're probably going to grab these. And you got a very small downside risk, and you got 56 ticks. So would I take this 730 flip here? Yeah, definitely, man. That was a good trade if you guys took that. That was a nice one, absolutely. So NQ, huge run, huge run on NQ. Same as ES. Look at this. This is just huge. From when we were talking about the lows down here, when I was buying up loads of stocks on my YouTube channel, and everyone was calling me stupid and crazy. Well, look at us now. We're right back at all-time highs. I was buying up a lot of stocks during these times, and I was doing it all on YouTube as well, and on my Instagram, calling a lot of stock buys for absolutely free. And look at this now. Huge run. Absolutely massive. So you did have a very strong closure last week on NQ. You finally broke above this all-time high resistance, which is what, 24,000. You broke above 24,000, so very bullish here. Again, NQ is a little bit tough here, I'll be honest. That's why I think it's probably better if we look at some currencies, or even silver today, or even copper. It's the same as gold, you know. Do you want to be taking new trades at this all-time high level? Well, what's your risk to reward? Your downside risk is pretty big. Your upside risk is, who knows? One thing, you know, we did have a good question on fast markets last week. And when someone asked Hogue, you know, how do you trade these all-time highs? Hogue spoke a lot about actually measuring moves. So I think it was, you know, I'm not an expert at this, but it's something like, you know, measuring these legs up and see if you've kind of fulfilled them, which you kind of have fulfilled this leg up. So for NQ, you know, to take new buy positions, I'd have to see a little bit of a pullback. Usually, you know, if we can see the potential for a pullback, I can short that pullback and expose myself to pullbacks before going long. However, when you're actually at all-time highs, do I want to expose myself to potential pullbacks? Not really. So yeah, NQ gets pretty tough up here, guys. It's one of the markets where, you know, it doesn't matter really too much about what you think. What's right in front of us is we have been in an absolutely phenomenal push up. So new trades here on NQ is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think there'll be nice opportunities throughout the watch list in NQ. Personally, I wouldn't be executing any new trades. Where was New York yesterday? So it was a huge run up. I think you would have got a lot of people trying to short this yesterday. A lot of people trying to get trapped in these shorts, all-time highs. Look at the way you're grinding up, and then bam, you just absolutely break through these all-time highs so aggressively. And then same here in Asia. You know, if you're watching this in real time, it almost looks like, oh, this is a slow grind. Surely we're going to pull back. And you say to yourself, oh, I can't keep going up. Surely it's not going to keep going up. You go up and up and up and up and up. And then, again, this is pretty similar to what gold loves to do. Loves to give them false signs that, you know, you're finding resistance. You try short pullbacks, it just goes higher. Wick highs are cool. Maybe now it's time to go back. Time to pull back. Keep going higher. So the smart trade is just following NQ. I think a lot of people will be getting squeezed out trying to call tops here. By the time most people get squeezed out, finally, then actually you may get that pullback. So let's you know, watch NQ around these areas. If you break back below, you know, there is the potential for a pullback into these areas. Again, would I short it on my XFA? No. Would I take it on maybe a combine for more of a test trade? Maybe. We'll see. Let me just stare out the window. So we'll see how NQ goes. Gold's still having a Massive, massive push here, guys. Gold's not the market I'm going to chase these highs either. Let's have a look at some of you guys' questions. Long since 37.21. Let's have a look, man. Long since 37.21. Sounds like a good trade. Let's see. 37.21. So you're long from around here, which is a great entry on that kind of breakout there. I mean, personally, I can't tell you when to take profits. If it was me, like I said, at these all-time highs, all I have to base targets off is previous highs and lows. So if I was buying from down here, these highs here would be my exit personally. Because you have nothing to the left. So, you know, above here is where you start to get hopeful. And you start to hope that price just continues ripping. But it could also easily pull back. You know, if you can imagine anyone who's buying this huge push up, where would they also be taking profits? Well, they'd be taking profits at these all-time high levels. So anything can happen above here. But if you're long from down here, personally, that's an amazing day trade. Like, what's that? It doesn't matter what size that you are in, but if we just take this from, you know, here to here, 82 ticks before London's even opened, that's amazing. 82 ticks is huge. One contract, man, it's $820. That's a great trade. That's a very, very good trade. Even if it is at small size. 82 ticks is 82 ticks. That's a very, very, very nice pre-London position. Great appearance on the New York Open Show last week. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate you tuning in, man. We'll absolutely do some more as well. We'll do some more for sure. Aaron, don't you think it could be nice to have a small runner, even one micro, just in case? Yesterday I was long in London at 36.80. Took nearly 100 ticks, but man, the move is nearly 400. I mean, it depends. Like how. I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with leaving runners. And I mean, I don't really do that on funded accounts. I do it on my personal. Like, I never really close my trades full when I'm trading on my personal, because I like to leave them runners as anchors to take new trades risk-free. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if you want to hold a micro runner just to see how much it can run, absolutely. Again, it depends on how much you're trading, and depends on what percent of your original position is that runner. If it's like 10% of your, you know, maybe you're trading 10 micros and you want to leave one runner, just a little 10% runner, then amazing. But if it's, you know, if you only trade, not that I'm saying you do, like some people, you know, maybe trade like 3 micros and they want to leave 1 micro runner. That's a pretty decent part of your position to just hope that it keeps running. And again, though, you know, if you made 100 ticks but price ended up moving 400, you know, that's the fun of the business that we're in. That, you know, you got to be happy with as long as you know, you planned your trade and you traded your plan and you execute and exited when you said you would, then that's a win, man. You know, we're never gonna, you know, you don't want to get too focused on, you know, trying to buy here and trying to sell here. You know, we're not here to be perfect. We're here to get our piece of the pie. If we get from here and we exit here and it pushes all the way up to here, we still got to be happy with the fact that we made it from here to here and we made money. As long as you made more than what you were risking, you're winning, man. You're winning. But if you want to hold runners, yeah, I mean, why not? You can hold runners. The way I approach runners on my personal is different to funded accounts. So gold hitting some new all-time highs here, guys. Gold on a huge run here. Copper, let's have a look at copper. So copper, we did call some nice pullbacks here on copper last week. Let's get rid of these. Actually, these levels are still valid. Let's get rid of this, and these ones. Let's clean this up as well. So where are we? We got let's put some key levels here on copper. 4.75 is here. And then we have 5 just above as well. So copper, look at this daily time frame. This daily time frame, wow, gold on a huge push here, guys. Huge push here. But what can you do? Nothing to chase or do right now on gold, guys. Don't FOMO into gold. You know, it's not gonna tap this level and keep ripping. At some point, you're gonna pull back, and even if it does, that's fine. Wait for the next pullback, and then you get the next trade. Copper, pretty decent closure yesterday. Look at this closure. What did we do yesterday? We came down, we tagged Friday's low and closed bullish. So to me, this looks like a potential bottom wick here on copper. For this to potentially start flipping bullish and come back up into this 475 level. So I'll be looking for some lower time frame potential fake out trades here on copper to see if you can get some longs. We got the London Open here as well, guys. We got the London Open. We got a huge breakout here on gold. Gold in the currency chart. How many ticks away from that 3,700? 80 ticks away from that 3,700 level on gold. So yeah, I would be looking for some longs here on copper again. Look at this is actually very nice. It's like getting a lot of pre-London moves. Look at this, perfect morning star play here on copper. You reject, you come down, grab the lows. Very nice buys here. So with where copper is right now, again, hindsight, wonderful thing. This would have been a lovely buy here. If you were on the charts, that would have been a great buy. Where would I be targeting? Well, probably this resistance. So could you still squeeze up a little bit more here on copper and maybe come and test some of these breakout levels from yesterday? Yes, probably. I would be watching, see how you react around here. If you break above core, you got some longs. If you pull back, then maybe you can buy below some hourly lows here. This London Open candle here on copper has just opened and pushed up pretty aggressively here in the first like minute and a half. Hi Aaron, I'm in longs from 36.40 since yesterday. Should I hold for FOMC? It depends. What was your exit plan when you got into the trade? Are you holding just for the sake of holding because you want to hope to make more money? 36.40. Is that on the currency chart or the futures chart? I would assume the currency chart. 36.40 is kind of back down these areas. I mean, don't just hold a trade and hope that it's just going to keep pushing up. What was your exit criteria when you got into the trade from down here? If it was exiting around these highs, then I'd be locking in majority of a trade. And if you're holding some runners and you want to hold to see how it goes, great. But don't just hold a full position and hope that FOMC is going to, have a big push in your favor at price discovery levels. Doesn't really make too much sense. Do you use market profile when trading gold? No, I don't, man. What I use on my charts is literally what you guys see right here. This is all we needed yesterday to, take this 300 plus tick move up. This is all I use here, man. Just these lovely, beautiful levels here and price action. That's what gold loves. Gold loves the price action. Not to say you can't use it or there's anything wrong with it, but yeah, not for me personally. Euro closed above, wicking out the highs. I still believe Euro is going to have a little bit of a pullback. I'd be watching some lower time frame potential resistance forming around here on the Euro. I wouldn't be buying this high again personally. Let's have a look at silver. So market's going to be a little bit tough here in London session, guys. You just kind of have to, take it for what it is. Gold's at all-time highs, NQ's at all-time highs. You don't trade all-time highs, you wait for price to pull back and then you trade into all-time highs. Me personally, I don't take trades at all-time highs. Silver, again, look at this. Silver's been on a huge run here. We can just get rid of all this, actually. Let's get rid of all this. Silver on a huge run. You broke above $42. Again, massive psychological level there. Look at that, 42. Oh, perfect, look at that. Beautiful. Let's make that 50. Where are you almost back into? We're almost back into 44. Again, silver on a huge run as well. Markets are looking very, very interesting coming into FOMC. Pre-FOMC, you got a lot of markets peaking some absolutely huge levels, which would be very, 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 very interesting. So silver, again, huge breakout yesterday. You're wicking down, holding some lows. Again, I would imagine you could probably get a lot of people trying to short this here on silver. You'll very likely see this continue squeezing higher. Again, is there much of a range to play from here to here? Not massively. Yeah, especially because FOMC can be so volatile. Even if you're right, you might get stopped out. Yeah, exactly. It depends on where your trade is leading up to FOMC. Because again, even if you get stopped out, you're gonna, if you have a trade like around here before FOMC, even if you have a stop in, you can have a lot of slippage because news can be so volatile, and then a lot of people blame external factors for getting slippage, when actually, if you decided to hold and execute a trade with FOMC, then that's the risk you take. Which for me personally, I don't trade FOMC personally. So gold having a squeeze up here, guys. The only reason I wouldn't be buying this hourly breakout right now is because where's my stop? Stop's probably going to be, a closure back below this level. And my targets, well, I can draw, an imaginary target, an imaginary risk to reward. I can look at this. That's what most people do. They look at this and they go, okay, cool. I'm going to aim for a 1 to 2 and I'm going to put my TP here. And they put in a take profit based off absolutely nothing other than risk to reward. And unfortunately, if you think the markets care about your risk to reward, they do not. So trading gold up here when there's absolutely nothing to the left is a little bit tough here, guys. So, we can use this time to look at some other markets as well. So anything you guys are looking at, feel free to send over. Doesn't just have to be gold. NQ trying to get a bit of a pullback here. I mean, if NQ does break out, could you short a pullback? Like I say, you could short a pullback, but it would be risky, and I would only do it on a combine. I wouldn't do it on a funded account, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the pound here. What do we have coming up? What do we got today? Do we have any news today? You do have core retail sales today, 1:30 London time. I don't know if it'll be that volatile, but we'll see. And then remember, guys, we've got the pound CPI tomorrow as well at 7 AM London time, which will be very interesting. Do you measure wave size to project next target? No, I don't, man. I use price action. Price action on previous levels. So look at this here on the pound, guys. What we spoke about last week. Took its time, but pound ended up coming up for all of the liquidity levels. You guys who were here yesterday, what did we say last week on the pound? Last week on the pound, we said a lot of people would be trying to short the pound here, risking off these highs. So buying up, again, same as gold, buying up into where most people are trying to sell was a very, very, very nice trade. Pound having a very nice move. So again, pound on a huge run, which the euro looks like it's lagging behind, so you may still get some euro squeezes. Look at this, euro is still squeezing. So euro hasn't quite tagged the highs. The pound absolutely has. We're talking about these pound levels from when we were even all the way back down here. What type of retracement would you wait for on gold? What type of retracement? I don't know if there's a type of retracement I would wait for. Just any sort of retracement, to be honest. Like this, you hit all-time highs, you pull back, and then you buy up into all-time highs. The pullbacks, what they do have in common, though, is the liquidity grabs. So what we like to do is, say if price is up here, I'll let price do something like this, maybe find some support, grab the lows, and then I'll get back into the all-time highs. Same here. You tag all-time highs, you range, come down, tag the lows, then you hit the all-time highs. So same here again. You hit all-time highs, you range, you tag the lows, then you go back up. Same here again. Hit all-time highs, pull back, tag lows, and then you go up. So exactly the same thing. Once it hits some highs, pull back, find some support. Where could we find some support? Maybe here. Could maybe come back down to these levels. And what I'd love to see from here is, price do something like this, have a little bounce, maybe a little bounce again, and then this, and then I'd like to get the longs. So again, though, you know, whether price pulls back to here or it pulls back to here or it pulls back to here, doesn't really too much about where you can pull back into. I'll simply react to like a liquidity grab and breakout once the market show me that that's the support being held, and that's my long. A lot of people get too focused on, I think price can pull back here, or I think price can pull back here. I don't really care too much about where price pulls back into, but once we start showing me, you know, these liquidity grabs and fake out levels, then I'll take my trade. And this was a beautiful one here as well. Bit of a funny time, but regardless, this was a very nice one. Look how nice this continuation up into all-time highs. This is exactly what you want to see. Why is this so good? Because you have this support here. What do people do? They jump in longs, set the stops down just below. You know, they're like, okay, cool, there's my previous low. I'm going to set my stop just there. They get stopped out, then price has to move. What you want to be doing is waiting for this to grab the lows, close bullish, and then there's your trade. And then where are you targeting? All-time highs. So we pretty much want to be mirroring that exact same setup, which is what we see all the time. Happened yesterday on all-time highs. All-time highs, you can see it happened here, came down, grabbed the lows, you break out. You can see it's literally exact same thing here. Tags the lows, breaks out. Where's your targets? All-time highs. Same thing here again. There's your support, break the support, break back above. There's your trade. So that's the best way to look to trade gold into all-time highs. We can see even here again, look at this. There's your support. People jump in the longs here, sit stops down below. You come down, tag the lows, then you have your huge breakout. That's what gold absolutely loves to do. It still grabbed on the currency. Might not have grabbed the perfect low, but you still wicked out support. Currency still grabbed support. But again, if you grab lows and close bullish, you just take it from there. So the buys in the currency chart would have been at 5 a.m. Which, was that the same here? Yeah, about here. So although the 5 might not have the currency, if I show you guys. Although the currency might not have maybe wicked out some perfect lows, which you may have been looking at, it doesn't really matter too much. The fact of the matter is you grab lows and you close bullish. Where are we? Where are we here? So you might have even had your, you know, liquidity level here, and you could have gone, it's a double bottom, I didn't grab it. Or then you're thinking too much. You wicked out lows and you close bullish. There's your trade. There. Doesn't matter if you think you grab these lows or you think you grab these lows. You've grabbed lows and you've closed bullish. There's your trade. Yeah, you didn't really have a liquidity grab on that trade, Benz. That's what gold loves to do. It loves to wick the lows before having the move. That's what gold does. So, like I say, it doesn't matter if you were. The key isn't about, you know, you don't want to get too trapped into what you like. You could be like, oh well, I think price is going to grab these lows, so I'm not going to take this trade. It doesn't really matter what you think. The markets, remember, the markets don't care about what we think. Trade what's right in front of you. What's right in front of you is you've wicked out support, which if you look at this on a lower time frame, look at this. Look at this huge support. How many people do you think were trying to buy this 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple bottom here on gold and sitting stops down just below? Loads. So again, if you think you're going to come down here, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you can think that, but if you trade what's right in front of you and you wick these lows here and close bullish, well, that's your confirmation that that's enough of a liquidity grab. Take the trade. Don't get too trapped in on trying to think too much. But this would have been, yeah, this would have been a huge trap. This is definitely not a place to buy on our plan. You would never be buying this. That's exactly what gold loves to do. Loves to stop people out before having the real move. So our plan is, once it's grabbed the lows and closed bullish, you got beautiful 15-minute morning star. You got a nice 30-minute fake out. Like you don't. If you're waiting for more than that, you're thinking too much. Where are we? Let me go back to. Let me go back to my screen here. And it was a very, very, very nice move. Very nice move. I was able to catch most of that 30-minute candle. Oh, nice. Nice, Patrick. Nice. How much did you get, man? How much did you get? $360. That's amazing, man. Beautiful. Where did you get long? So you got 360. You got long at 370.30.8. 370.30.8. Wait. Oh, you got here? Wait, 370.8. This? Wait. Yeah, no. Oh, sorry. Exit price. What am I talking about? Sorry, 23.6. Right, there we go, man. 23.6. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Lovely. Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful. Very, very, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, Morningstar pattern for a pullback, definitely. If you come back down to these levels, form a Morningstar, absolutely. The reason the Morningstar play is so nice, which is literally what gold did here on the 15-minute. Look at that, beautiful Morningstar. And again, doesn't matter if you have your liquidity level here or here. That would have been a big trap for people. But so yeah, if you do, again, this is like one of my favorite patterns here on gold. Morningstar and these fake outs are absolutely beautiful. You got a 15-minute Morningstar and a 30-minute fake out. Like, it couldn't get much nicer than that. That is a beautiful setup. So if we do something like this, when we pull back later on, absolutely, that'd be a great continuation buy. Absolutely. What time frame do you wait for the bullish close? I use all time frames, man. Like here, I'm using all time frames. I got a 15-minute Morningstar, nice reversal pattern. I got a 30-minute Morningstar. I mean, if the 30-minute close is bearish, then I probably want to see the 30-minute close bullish. Same as the hourly. You know, if I get a bearish hourly closure, then I probably want to see the hourly close back above. So once there's hourly closes back above, then I'll probably take my trade. So it depends on if the higher time frame has closed below the support or not. If the higher time frame, like the hourly's closed below the support, then I'm not looking for a 15-minute long. I'd wait for the next hourly to close back above. And that's why I think the nicest trade would have been from here to here. That. But let's say, you know, let's say this candle here at 3 AM didn't actually close below the support, but you wicked it out and closed like that. Then I'd be taking longs on this candle. But because you closed below the support, then I'd be waiting for this one to close. And then I'd take my trade. Hello, ES. Hello, man. Yes, we can have a look at ES. I mean, it's pretty similar to NQ. You're having a crazy run. All-time highs. All-time highs, so not really too much to say. Other than you've had an absolutely phenomenal run. Again, it's one of the markets where you don't really want to think too much. What's right in front of us? What's right in front of us is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful push. Huge push. So again, to me, it looks like we want to come for a bit of a pullback. But again, what I was saying earlier, do we want to trade what we think, or do we want to trade what's right in front of us? Because if you tried to trade that you think price is going to pull back, you would have missed a lot of trades on gold, NQ, and ES just following the markets. So although I think price can pull back, is that my job to short it? Not really. So I would imagine, especially in London, you'll probably create a bit of a range. Then you might pull back in New York, and then you'll probably get continuation longs. I wouldn't want to be calling tops here personally. Do you use the 5-minute or 15-minute for Morningstar? Majority of the time I'll use a 15. I've kind of stopped using the 5, to be honest, man. I was just missing a lot of trades. Like trying to read 5-minute price action is just way too much noise. I get much bigger and nicer trades just focusing on 15, 30-minute and hourly. More than enough. Don't get me wrong, we've had great trades together trading the 5-minute. But it just kind of makes it complicated for no reason. The 5-minute isn't going to tell me anything more than what I can't already see on the 15-minute. I mean, maybe look, like, let's have a look. So this is a nice 15-minute Morningstar. Sometimes, you know, you can find it also a 5-minute Morningstar as well. See here, not really. Like if you tried to trade this Morningstar play, on the 5-minute, you'd be buying this candle, risking off that. It comes down and wicks you out before then, you know, you'd have to get right back in. Or you could just look at the 15 and go, okay, cool. That's wicked out the lows, held support. Let me just buy here. Ignore that 5-minute noise and then get my trade. So I don't really use the 5-minute too much anymore. Unless, we're watching it here together, I'm trying to take more of a quick scalp, from like here to here. Then sometimes I watch the 5-minute. But yeah, 30-minute and hourly on gold is the sweet spot to find trade direction. Then maybe you can use, 15 for entry. So gold's still ranging up at these highs, guys. Remember, this is not the place to try and jump in new trades because you can range up here. You could pull back or you could keep pushing up. The probabilities that you could keep pushing up, you could also pull back. I don't want to trade with a probability that anything can happen. I want to trade the probability that I can see there's a nice high that needs to get grabbed from down here. So if any of you guys were on the charts early doors, look at this 15-minute fake out here. Tag lows, close bullish, targeting these all-time highs. If not, managing a trade here, which is still, what's that? 40 ticks, amazing. Can you explain what a morning star is? Absolutely. So it's one of my favorite patterns on gold. It's what I believe Dakota refers to as a 3-bar reversal. It's what gold loves to do a lot. So what a morning star is, you'll get this bearish push down. You'll kind of find some support. The middle candle loves to come down, loves to wick out the lows, hold the support. And then this last candle loves to retest the initial level and then have that nice push up. So it's a very nice reversal pattern. The reason that I like them so much is because typically this middle candle is your lower time frame liquidity grab. And that's what stops out most people before having the real move. So it's a very nice reversal pattern. And then an evening star is the exact same thing, but to the highs. So let's get a pretty good example there. So morning star, you close nice and bearish, you come down, grab the lows, close doji, and then you get your breakout. Same thing to the highs. Evening star to the highs, morning star to the lows. And it's a very nice reversal pattern. And it's one that gold absolutely loves to do. Like, you can see them everywhere on gold. The higher the time frame, the better. But gold, you can see, look at this perfect one here. This again with these lovely 8:30 London buys yesterday. Up into this range, gave like 80 ticks in 30 minutes. That was a beautiful one there. You can see you got another one here. You'll see them all the time on gold. The best way to actually enter them though, I think a lot of people, they try and let it play out and they try and enter up here. But for me personally, as soon as I see this middle candle here, tag the lows and close bullish, I'm happy to buy this candle, anticipating that this morning star is going to hold. And as soon as it does break up, I'm already managing my risk, as opposed to trying to enter in up here. So, especially, if I see this on an hourly, say this is an hourly time frame, and I see this hour come down, tag lows and hold support. This candle open, I'm like, yeah, the next hourly, I'm going to take clear buys. It almost looks like you're trying to create a bit of an evening star here to push lower. If this wasn't all-time highs, that's an evening star to potentially short. The reason I'm not shorting it though is because it's all-time highs. But what did you do here? Again, it literally looks like the exact same thing. You came up, tagged the highs, hold resistance. So you're anticipating that this is going to hold and have a bit of a pullback. Again, I'm not going to short this because you're not looking to fight the markets. Why would I take the morning star from here and not the evening star from up here? Well, gold's been bullish. So I want to be looking for morning star plays, not evening star plays. But this is essentially one shaping up here. Does oil look like a good short? Let's have a look now. Have a look at oil. Absolutely. Let's have a look. Okay, look at last week. Yes, this does look like a nice short actually. Yeah, this looks like a nice short. Yeah, so came up, break the highs, close nice and bearish. You're pulling back. This looks like a good short actually. This is a pretty decent. Let's get rid of all this for a second. These are lower time frame levels. This looks like a potential short. Yeah. So you're holding 63. This must be some intraday resistance. Maybe we'll bring this down about here. So you got What do? You broke above this level, broke right back below, and you're holding it as resistance. You do have some very nice downside liquidity levels here on oil. Again, if you're going to see that big of a move, it's probably going to come with FOMC on Wednesday. But either way, that's some pretty nice, look at that as well, some pretty nice daily resistance. So you're already reacting off that pretty well. Oh, look at that. Again, look at this. What did you do here in London? Came up, tagged the highs, closed bearish, continued selling off. Now, is it a good short from here? Maybe not from here. You know, it would have been a good short if this Audi had a bit of a top weight. You could have shorted this. That's a pretty decent liquidity grab. You broke back below the level. So I would say if you could maybe just get a little bit of a pullback here, then yeah, I do think overall this does look like a pretty decent short. You also have a trend line coming up like this as well. So what does this bring in? This brings in a lot of people who try and long third touch of trend lines, sit their stops just down below looking for this huge play up. Well, unfortunately, the markets don't move that easy anymore. So therefore, the second touch can become your liquidity level. And that's when if you get a little bit of a pullback, you could be looking for a short down into these lows here. But yeah, this does look nice. Again, I'm not a huge fan of intraday trading oil, but oil on the higher time frame, yeah, can give some very nice trades. So shorts back down into this like 62.70 level. They look good. Would I short oil from here though? I wouldn't short it from here, because if we zoom out a little bit, you're almost right back at this 4 hours support, and you're already starting to leave a bit of a wick rejection. So I'd look for a little bit of a pullback before then shorting. You know, in hindsight, shorting this London Open candle would have been nice, because you tagged highs, you broke back below, there's your short. But this level here would be a first target. But yeah, oil does look overall nice for a short. Do you look for morning and evening style plays only on the 15? No, all time frame, man. Depends which time frame you're trading off. If you can spot them on the higher time frame, like sometimes even a 4 hour. Like if I see a 4 hour morning style play shaping up, you know, I'm getting like here, for example. Look at this. Look at this. You came down wick low to close bullish. Easy buys on this 4 hour. You're using all time frames. You can use even the daily time frame has beautiful morning and evening stars. Nanosecond morning stars that plays. Yeah, get on the 1 second. You can use it on all time frames. All time frames. There's not like a, you know, you must use it on the 15 or you can only use it on the 30 minute. All time frames. Like for example, if I see the daily, you know, it came down wick lows holding support, kind of like here. Again, it's not the most picture perfect morning star play, but it's the same thing. You know, when this comes down wicks lows and hold support, well then on this day, I'm only looking for longs. So I might have my daily biases being bullish. Then when I drop down to the lower time frame, there might be some lower time frame morning stars down here as well, or wherever it was, here or here. So using it, obviously the higher time frame, the stronger it's going to be. Again, look at this beautiful one. So again, here's an hourly one. You came down, wick loads, held support. So at this hour, you're buying, which is beautiful. There's not like a, you know, you must use it on this time frame. It's not really a time frame that you should be using it. It's the areas that you should be looking for them at. That's what's more important. You want to be looking for these reversal patterns, you know, below these liquidity levels. What have I just done? So it's not so much the time frame that you should be taking them off that's important. It is important, but what's more important is where you're doing it. Like, you know, for instance, like I say right now, you know, we have a 15-minute evening star play shaping up right now. Would I short this 15-minute evening star? I wouldn't. Why? Because gold's been so bullish that I'm not looking for evening star plays. Look how bullish this has been. But you know, you never know. Like sometimes you might get a 15-minute morning star, but the 30-minute might be more of a fake out trade. That's why there's not really like you confluence fake outs with morning stars as well. Like you might get a 30-minute fake out, then you go look at the 15, you go, oh, cool, that was a nice 50-minute reversal pattern. Cool, now I can take my trade. So you're starting to find some resistance here on gold. We got the first 30-minute close of the London session. Did close a little bit doji, instant top wick. So to me, it looks like gold wants a little bit of a pullback. But again, I don't want to short gold up here, guys. I can see gold coming for a bit of a pullback, but it's just not really my short. Let's see if NQ's having a little bit of a breakout here. Again, look at that, NQ. What's the obvious trade? Continuing to buy. You never closed back below, you didn't have this pullback, you continued pushing. One of them where you got to trade what we see. Again, this was a evening star play here. Look at this evening star play here on NQ. You came up, you wicked the highs, you closed doji, pushed down. Why would I not short this evening star here on NQ? Well, exact same reason I wouldn't short the evening star play on gold right now. It's because you've been so bullish. Therefore, I'm not really looking to take evening stars. You're looking to take morning star plays to continue pushing. But you can't really see that there was one. NQ still having a big breakout here, guys. Let's have a look at the euro. Let's have a look. Euros again still squeezing. Broke above, held it, pushing higher. Big push. Pound still pushing. Let's have a look at copper. So copper came back up into the zone, which is nice. See, now you could have a potential evening star play shaping up here on copper. Now, copper, I can justify shorts a little bit more. So if copper came up, you know, this candle maybe wicked out the highs and held resistance, like literally looked like how that looks right now, then maybe you could be shorting 9 a.m. But that hasn't happened just yet. So you may come up and tag these highs one more time here on copper. I can often predict gold's direction, but my entries and exits are off. I get stopped out or hold too much. How do you manage your entries and exits? Literally all based off these liquidity levels. All off understanding what does gold love to do before a move up or down. This is why most people find gold so hard to trade. Is because most people, like I say, are buying this support, sitting the stops down just below and getting stopped out before the real move. And this is literally what gold loves to do. Time and time and time again. Again, same thing. They see this rejection, they buy off the support, sit stop just down just below, they get squeezed out. Exact same thing for the reason that we were calling longs yesterday on gold. Is people try and short here, sit stop just above, and then they get squeezed out. So if you can understand that gold loves to do these things, it can actually be pretty simple to read. It's about trading into these liquidity levels. So understand that gold loves to come down and grab previous highs or lows before having the real move. So that's why you want to wait for the low time frame on gold, you know, like this. You know, give signs of support. People go, okay, cool, good, cool. This is support. I'm going to sit my stops down just below. I'm going to get squeezed out. And remember, guys, when I say this is what people do, I'm talking to my younger self. I would always be the one who would be buying here, putting my stop down just below this low and calling the markets perfectly. But I'd always be getting squeezed out. And I'm like, what am I doing so wrong? How do I keep getting squeezed out before the real move? So when I say to you guys, this is what most people are doing, I don't mean that to sound like an egotistical way. I'm literally talking about I would be the one who would always get stopped out before then price ends up just doing exactly what I want. And then I eventually got to a point where I was looking back at all my losses and understanding that, look, my direction isn't wrong. My direction is actually good, which is a massive win. So to you who just said, you know, you can often predict gold's direction well, that's amazing. You're on the right track. And getting good at calling market directions well is the best thing you can do. Now it's kind of just refining your entries and just understanding things like this a little bit more. Because I was in the exact same position. I would literally call market direction well, but I would always get stopped out before the real move. And then I kind of just got an eye for gold and kind of got a good understanding of, okay, cool. You know, let me just wait. One thing I would do, which, you know, you guys can also do is, one thing I would do is I would draw on my risk to reward tool like this, but I wouldn't take the trade and I would just leave it. And then I would see I'd get stopped out and then I would actually take the trade. So one thing you can do is, you know, you can draw on your risk to reward tool, you know, don't actually take the trade, see if it stops you out. Then once it does, you're like, okay, cool, now I get a way better entry from down here. And then eventually you'll get a point where, okay, cool, I've got an eye for these levels. I know where, you know, you've got a nice double bottom here. If you've got a nice double bottom here, what does price love to do? It loves to come down and grab these lows. So then I kind of got to, this is where I've kind of slowly adapted it over time. If you guys go back and watch my live streams on my channel from even like 3 years ago, one thing I was doing is I was kind of, again, this is how you adapt with the markets. One thing I was doing is I was waiting for, you know, price to grab these levels, and then I was trying to go long. But the way that I like to trade now that gives me a better win rate and a better hit rate is if I can understand that price needs to grab these levels, what I like to do is actually short into it instead. Because what I kind of got good at was understanding levels that price needed to grab before doing something else. And I also kind of found that I was leaving a lot of profit on the table and wasting a lot of time, you know, waiting for price to get into this level before then trying to go short. But there's nothing to say that, you know, when you break the support, you don't just keep ripping down. So that's kind of how we've adapted it from trading out of liquidity levels to now actually trading into these levels. Kind of like this example. Like me 3 years ago, if you guys go back and watch my streams, I'd be waiting for price to grab these highs and then I'd try and go short. And I kind of found I was leaving a lot of profit on the table, as opposed to if I had actually, okay, just said to myself, look, the markets are very neutral and I want to expose myself to the fact that anything can happen. So rather than me just sitting on my hands doing nothing and waiting for price to get up into here before then trying to go short, well, if I can see there's a potential 100 ticks up into these levels, well, that could just be my trade. And that's my trade done. So same thing here. You know, if I can spot these levels, I want to be looking to short into these liquidity levels. And then whatever happens down here, I don't really care too much. Because there's nothing to say, you know, you don't grab these lows, pull back and just keep pushing down. Not only have I wasted time, I've also taken a loss trying to catch a potential reversal from here. So that's the way that I've gone from being the one who would buy here, sit my stop down just below, get stopped out before the real move happened, to then waiting for this happening and then trading out of it, to now spotting these levels and actually trading into it. Like I say to you guys can go back and watch my live streams from maybe even up to 4 years ago on my channel, and you'll see how I used to wait for these levels to be grabbed and then trade out of it. But now I have a much better win rate trading into these levels. So if you can get good at identifying levels that price needs to grab before potentially doing something else, well, we're traders, we're here to trade, rather than sitting on your hands and waiting for price to get up into here before then trying to predict that this is going to be a high and you're going to pull back. If I can see prices breaking out and I have levels to target, we'll buy up into it. I want to be buying up into where most people are trying to sell. Exactly the same thing from here. I want to be buying up into where most people are trying to short above these highs. So, I hope that helps. Yeah, absolutely, Johnny. Appreciate you to give, man. How's Bitcoin looking for me? Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Just shared some game with you guys there. And again, like I've been staring at these beautiful gold charts for like 7 years. So if what I just said completely went over your head, that's absolutely fine. It just takes time to see these things on gold. You'll eventually get an eye for it. The reason I also love gold so much is because gold is also very repeatable. Gold's followed the same principles for a long time. You know, the head and shoulders, the liquidity grabs, the morning stars, gold absolutely loves to repeat itself. That's why I love gold so much. Gold have a nice little pullback here as well, guys, which is good. This is what I want to see. It's better than peaking all-time highs. Yeah, have a look at Bitcoin, man. Bitcoin, again, nice weekly closure, back above 115,000. Where do I think we go from here? Probably back up into 120. You do have some nice liquidity highs here from Sunday. Friday. Is that Friday on the futures chart? Yeah, Friday on the futures chart here. You got some nice highs that I think people shorting stops above. So I would say Bitcoin will very likely come up and squeeze these highs. Which from here, you know, if you're going to see a push up into 120,000, you may see something like this, steeper pullback before then wicking up higher. But looking at this right now, longs up into Friday's highs look pretty good to me. You just had a nice huge 4-hour bullish closure. Again, Bitcoin actually does love to do the same thing as gold. So what have we just said here on gold? What do we have here? We have an absolutely perfect double bottom. So what do people do when price comes back to level? They try short buy the double bottom, sit the stops down just below. So what does Bitcoin do? Same thing as gold. Comes down, grabs the lows, and then breaks out. So to me, you haven't really done that to the highs. So this is kind of what I was saying to you guys on gold, which hasn't really happened yet on Bitcoin, is if I believe price can grab these highs before pulling back, well, rather than me sitting on my hands waiting for price to get up into here before trying to go short, if I can see an opportunity to buy up into that level, great. Let me expose myself to the fact that anything can happen in these markets. And if we come down and grab these lows and then break out, cool. We'll see if you get some longs here on Bitcoin. But to me, yeah, longs here look good. I wouldn't be short in this personally. You do have some resistance here. So if you do want a long, I'd be looking for a potential lower time frame, you know, morning star from this area. And if you break back above this resistance, then you will very likely fill this range pretty quick. Hey Aaron, what's up, man? Hey man, what's going on? Appreciate tuning in. Mind checking natural gas? Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, we've got time here. Gold's having a bit of a pullback here, guys, which is good. Again, this is what I want to see. This is the reason I don't chase all-time highs. This is exactly why. Natural gas. Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. It's not a market I've ever traded before. Let's have a look here. This is the last time that we looked at it. Okay, look at this. Tag the highs, push down. Nice, look at this nice morning star play here. Didn't quite hold. Nice morning star play. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. So let's have a look. What's the weekly up to? So a little bit of a weekly range here. Wicking out highs, bearish, holding support, holding resistance. $3 is a very, very, very big support level. Oh wow, look at this. This is huge. Wow, look at that for a liquidity grab. I would say you're probably going to get a decent buy here on natural gas. Again, I've not really ever traded this, so again, take my analysis with a pinch of salt. I'm breaking this down as if I was breaking down gold, but this is a pretty aggressive liquidity grab that if you start re-breaking higher, you could get some pretty decent longs here. That is absolutely huge. That's insane. There must have been some sort of news there, right? Something happened there. But yeah, longs here on natural gas look very nice. Back up into like 310. Look good. At least here. Again, same thing as gold. You probably get a lot of people trying to short here now. You know, risking off these highs. I would say you're probably very likely going to come up and fill in this level. So for an intraday trade, if you can, again, get a little bit of a pullback to here, lower time frame reversal signs from here, playing up into this range looks pretty good. Above these highs, you know, you'd have to see. But these highs here look like a pretty easy target. I think you'd get a lot of people trying to short natural gas here, more likely to see this continue pushing up. And that is insane. Would you be interested in a buy if this 15 flips bullish? Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. 15 flips bullish. How's the 4 hour looking? Remember, 4 hour is wicking out all-time highs. 15 minute. But again, how long does it have to close? Doesn't really matter too much about how the 4 hours looking right now. You're only halfway through it. So previous 4 hour tag lows and close bullish. So that's what's more important. So the way I would buy this on gold, which actually could be quite nice, is we have some all-time high targets, which this candle here didn't actually wick on the currency. Again, this could be shaping up for everything that we've just spoken about. We had a breakout of this all-time high level. We're retesting here. So what could we be shaping up here? We could be shaping up for a potential morning star here. Now, how would this morning star play look? Well, in 1 minute, this 15 is going to close pretty bearish. So if we're going to have a reversal pattern, what do we want to see here? We want to see this next 15 come down, wick the lows. And then we could be looking for more 9 a.m. buys. And we're looking for something like this. So the open of this 15, again, if gold wasn't so bullish, I'd be looking to short down into these lows, take advantage of this potential morning star before going long. That's not the best of candlesticks. Look at that. That's much better. Look at that. Beautiful. So I would say last 15 of this hourly, if it wasn't so bullish, I would be looking for a top wick that would actually be shorting down into these lows, anticipating that we're going to wick these lows and then potentially come back to the highs. So if we do want some longs here on gold, It may come closer to 9 a.m. Now, one thing to watch here is if this 15 actually just closes below these lows, like this, then okay, cool. I'm looking at my time down here, and we're coming into the last 15 of the hourly. Therefore, if this 15 does close bearish, the hourly could be having a big fake out closure blow, which I wouldn't want to be buying against just yet. But again, it's one of them trades where, you know, them scenarios where we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, if we wick out these lows, start to hold some support, yeah, there's the potential to continue buying here. Absolutely, that's the smart trade for sure. But would I have bought? I think your question was more so, would I have bought this 15 flip? I wouldn't buy this 15 flip because I wouldn't want to buy at the resistance. I want to be looking to buy down at the support. I don't want to be buying up here. I'd get very cautious buying up here. But if I buy from down here, well, then I have much nicer upside targets. You know, from longs from somewhere around here, if we grab the lows, it gives me like a break-even point of 60 ticks. But if I buy from this 15-minute flip, then my management point is 23 ticks. So it's pretty aggressive. Just got a little 15. Yeah, nice little scalp there. If you want to take the risk, as I say, it's not a bad little evening star play for maybe a combine trader, short little bit of pullback, seeing how that evening star play works out. Okay, here's another scenario as well. We got to be open to anything. If we don't get that 15-minute morning star play, but we do close back above, then you got 15-minute fake out buys. So we've got two possible scenarios right now. We've got 15-minute fake out buys, which is also a potential 30-minute liquidity wick, or we have a 15-minute morning star play. I would prefer a 15-minute morning star play, you know, if we come down and tag these lows. However, if this 15 was just to close right back above, you know, we could see if we could scalp it from there. So there is possibilities here. Let's have a look at NQ. Is NQ still pushing, or is it pulling back? Again, you know, NQ's a tough one here. NQ's a tough one because it gives me signs that we want to have a bit of a pullback. But again, like I said earlier, it's one of them times where, regardless of if we think price can pull back, we've just been so bullish that it's hard to want to trade here. NQ's a little bit tough up here, guys. Same as gold. But guess what? It's not going to be like this all week, guys. If we don't get a trade here today, guess what? We have all week. We have all week, and we caught some huge buys yesterday. We got time. Nice Damon. Slowly chipping away at the XFA with just quality trades at 1.1k for trading for 3 trading days. Nice. 1.1k for 3 trading days is amazing, man. Even for a week or for a month, that's fantastic, man. Do that on a few accounts, man. That's amazing. Just be always be willing to take a loss as well. You know, don't be afraid to take a loss. That's which is actually not the that's for you, Damon. But one thing I do get skeptical of is when some people show me their XFA results or combine results, and it's just like all green. When I say all green on people's Topstep stats, that's when I get super skeptical, because you're trying to make it look nice as opposed to actually just managing a risk. And then you're like, oh well, I've got all green trades. I can't now take a loss, and that's when you hold on to a losing trade for too much. So, not for you, Dan, by the way. I'm just saying, like in general, when people show me their stats and it's like all green, like you've had like two weeks or 3 weeks of pure all green days. That's when I'm like, okay, cool. It's great. Don't get me wrong, that's good. But I've had that before, where I've had like maybe, I don't know, 2.5 of pure every day being a green day. And then when it comes to that losing day, you can't accept that losing day because you think to yourself, oh, well, I've had this many green days. I don't want to ruin that many green days. You ended up holding on to that losing trade for too long, and it ends up wiping out the whole entire plan. Whereas if you've, you know, like for you, Damien, like you're at 1.1k now, which is amazing. You know, if tomorrow you take a loss, that's absolutely fine. You're still massively green, which is amazing. So 1.1k in 3 days, huge. Yeah, absolutely huge. Exactly, man. Absolutely amazing. That's from the Topstep team. Amazing, man. Took a small loss yesterday. Yeah, nice. Amazing, man. Good job. Beautiful work. But it's still a plan. It's just how it goes. Absolutely, man. It's all part of the journey. Losses are part of the game, man. Absolutely. Small losses are good. But the nice thing is when you kind of build yourself that buffer, it makes trading easier because you're not afraid to take a loss. Because you're like, if I take a loss, well, guess what? I'm still up like $800-900. That's amazing. You know, it's like here. What is this? I was down. Where was it? Where's my like for instance here, you know, I was up 2.5k down to 1.8, but guess what? I don't go, oh, damn it, I was up 2.5, now I'm down to 1.k. Oh, I got to make that back. I'm like, no, that's, you know, I'm still massively green. Where's this? This is going back to what, 20th of August. Still green. And guess what? You pull back and you keep going, just like the markets. Have a nice little liquidity going before breaking some new highs. It's so easy to, again, guys, if this wasn't a all-time high level, this would be a short I'd be in right now. It's sometimes so easy to be so focused on thinking that, you know, your equity curve in trading is just going to be this, which it will be overall, but within this, you know, you have your good days and then you have some down streaks, but then you stick to the plan and you go back up. That's how your equity curve is going to look. People want the equity curve just to be straight up. It might average that, but you know, you'll probably be something like this, and then you might be like this for a little bit, and then you're back up, and you might average that, but it's never just going to be purely that. That's why you got to always stick to the plan. Stick to the plan, and you know, always remember we are in the business of losing. Having losses is completely okay. How about USD Swiss franc? I don't trade USD Swiss franc here on Topstep, but I can trade the US dollar. Can we trade the Swiss franc? I don't believe we can trade the Swiss franc. No, you can't trade you can trade Swiss franc. You can Swiss futures. There you go. You can trade the Swiss franc. So you can trade. I can't trade US dollar against the Swiss franc, but I can trade the US dollar, or you can trade Swiss franc. Swiss franc is having a huge move, big move here. My latest XFA. Oh, nice, man. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. So total P&L 2,100. Amazing. 80% win rate. Huge. Average win and loss. Average win 193. Average loss $70. Amazing, man. Amazing. Profit factor 11. That's amazing. Losses are small in the win. 2.75 is amazing, man. That's huge. Well done. Saw the all the London Open streams. That's amazing stats, man. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. So gold having this little dip down here, guys. We got this hourly close coming on in 7 minutes. And again, it's looking like we're going to get this fake out below, which is fine. I don't mind that. It's better than peaking all-time highs. So that we haven't got a trade here just yet. Could be shaping up for something maybe towards 9 to potentially 10 a.m. But this is exactly the reason I said I'm not trading up here. So when you see this breakout, you try and chase all-time highs. Guess what? You're right back down. Full GC, all thanks to you. Wow, that's amazing, man. All gold. That's incredible. That's what we love to hear, man. Absolutely amazing. After months of practice, then combine, now first GC XFA. Wow, that's incredible, man. First gold XFA, 80% win rate, up 2k. That's absolutely amazing, man. Amazing. Locking some gains on that soon. It's incredible. And again, that's the way to do it properly. You practice, then you combine, then you put it to the XFA. Once you got the data and you got the confidence, that's how we like to do it. So, YouTube guys, we've been off for about an hour and a half here. Unfortunately, there's no trades here today on gold. Like I say, you know, we're peaking these all-time highs. Gold's going to be a little bit difficult today, guys. But it's only Tuesday. We caught some very nice longs up yesterday. We have absolutely all week to get trades together. To be honest, I think you guys are going to get the trades maybe closer to like 9 to 10 a.m. So remember, guys, you have D on right after me as well. We shared lots of value here today, so hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream, and we'll be right back again tomorrow. So trade safe, guys. We got FOMC tomorrow. Gold's at all-time highs. NQ's at all-time highs. Don't try and call tops, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Trade safe. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.